What's going on, guys? It's Vid here. Welcome back to the channel, and I recently picked up the brand new Apple Watch Series 10 in the polished titanium finish. Today's video, I'll be going through an unboxing as well as talk about some real-world use cases. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Here's our first look at the Apple Watch box, and it's largely the same as the box for the past few Apple Watches. One thing they've done with this one, as well as last year's Series 9 box, is that it's a lot more compact. For reference, here's the box to my Apple Watch Series 7 up top, and you can see how much smaller the box for the new Apple Watch is. Flipping it over to the other side, we got the two easy open pull tabs just like the previous generation Apple Watches, and lifting that up, it reveals two boxes, one for the case and one for the band. Lifting up the box to our Apple Watch, we're greeted by our Apple Watch case on the left. This is the natural titanium colorway, and first impressions, it looks really nice. Now, Apple replaced their stainless steel premium models with polished titanium, and I went with the natural as I wanted something that really stands out, but isn't too flashy like the gold titanium. Let's set this off to the side for now. In addition to our Apple Watch case, we're also going to find an Apple Watch charger in the box, and this one comes with the nice braided cable that Apple's been including with a lot of their products, but I already have another Apple Watch charger around, so I'm probably not going to use this one. For my band of choice this year, I chose the Milanese loop as I want my Apple Watch to look more like jewelry rather than straight up looking like a gadget. Taking it out of the box is a bit hard, but upon holding it for the first time, this band feels really premium, and I'm honestly surprised at how light it is. Going back to the Apple Watch case, it's protected by this paper-like sleeve. Taking it out of the sleeve reveals the watch case, and the natural titanium is a slightly darker version of last year's silver stainless steel. And since they're using titanium this year, this case is not going to be that much heavier compared to the standard aluminum models. For my second band of choice, I chose the Nike Sport Loop. I'm a big fan of this one as it's infinitely adjustable but also extremely breathable and lightweight, and it's great for both everyday use as well as use in the gym. Putting the Apple Watch on my wrist, it does not feel significantly heavier compared to my aluminum Series 7. It's definitely going to be a lot lighter if you're going to use a different band such as a Sport Loop. One thing I'm also a really big fan of is this always-on display as it now refreshes every 1 second, making the Apple Watch feel a lot more alive compared to the previous generations, which would refresh once every minute. Okay guys, so I just got done setting up the Apple Watch. This is what it looks like on my wrist with the Milanese loop. Now, it is getting pretty late out right now, so I am going to head to bed, and this will also give me an opportunity to test out how well the battery life holds up when using the watch for sleep tracking. Going back to Apple Watch bands, I was showing you guys just a few seconds ago my Apple Watch with the Milanese loop. However, if I'm going to use it for sleep tracking, that is one band I definitely don't want to use. Instead, I like to change out that for one of the various sport loops that I own, as this is the lightest band in my collection and is extremely breathable and really comfortable too. Prior to going to bed, my battery is at 65%, and after 8 hours of sleep, the battery's dropped slightly to only 51%, which is honestly not too bad. I ended up going back to the Apple Store the next day as I wanted to see the comparison between natural and some of the other finishes, as well as take a look at some of the other new watches that released. There's also a new jet black aluminum. I think this looks really nice, however, this is definitely going to be a fingerprint and scratch magnet. In addition to the Apple Watch Series 10 that was released, they also released a slight update for the Apple Watch Ultra. There's no new features or no hardware, however, there is a new satin black finish that's available, and this has been rumored for a very long time. This is definitely too big for my wrist, and I'm glad I went with the Series 10 over this Apple Watch Ultra model. In terms of the new features, there are a few new features, the main one being the new design. This is the thinnest and lightest Apple Watch ever made, and the displays are also slightly bigger than the previous generations. There's a new wide-angle OLED, which allows you to view more content at an angle There's a depth sensor and a new water temperature sensor, and the depth app is now on the Series 10. We can also now play music straight from the watch, and this is the fastest charging Apple Watch ever. You can get to 80% in 30 minutes, which honestly I think is really helpful when it comes to charging your watch before you leave or for sleep tracking. Some other features that are included are this double tap functionality, which has come in handy in some situations. The OLED display is brighter outdoors, but can also get dimmer indoors. And there's a new precision finding feature, but I honestly don't use this much as I typically always have my iPhone within arm's reach. Another thing that I really like about the Apple Watch is the Apple Watch band ecosystem. I currently own 6 watch bands. All of these are official Apple Watch bands that I've bought over the years. I typically dress in casual clothes most of the time, and I find the Sport Loop band perfect for those casual outfits. When I want something a bit more formal, I like to wear the Milanese Loop band. In terms of using my Apple Watch for day-to-day Apple Watch activities, I don't find a significant difference between the Apple Watch Series 10 and every other Apple Watch ever released. I mainly use my Apple Watch to keep track of notifications, to pay for things with Apple Pay, and I'll sometimes use some of the Apple Watch apps, but this is a very rare occurrence. One big reason many people choose to buy an Apple Watch is the fact that they use this as a health device. Apple Watch has a ton of health features, including heart rate monitoring, noise monitoring, fall and crash detection, sleep tracking with sleep apnea, and if you're not in the US, you will get blood oxygen tracking. I live in the US, so I currently don't have this feature. One feature I have been using a lot recently is Apple Watch's sleep tracking metrics, as I have had pretty bad sleep the past few months and I'm trying to fix that. The data is exported to the health app and it gives me some insights on the type of sleep that occurs each night. And I find that having this data definitely helps me adjust my habits to get better sleep. Another reason why many people buy the Apple Watch is for workout tracking. I use mine for this purpose. I use it for both strength training and cardio. There's not really that much of a difference in features with the Series 10 compared to any other Apple Watch. However, if you're upgrading from a stainless steel case, you will appreciate that the titanium watch is slightly lighter. I even wore my Milanese Loop band when working out, and I didn't think it was too heavy. The double tap feature is helpful when switching between menus, however, I somehow never got it to work on Spotify. Another feature I like is the GymKit integration on supported machines. All you gotta do is tap your Apple Watch to the machine, and your data is gonna sync simultaneously between the two. There's also the activity rings, which I try to close every single day. There's 3 main goals to this: move, exercise, and stand, and the activity app also has tons of awards to help keep you motivated. The fitness app can even tell you how many steps you take per day. I like to keep this number as high as possible. It's definitely easier to reach a high number on the weekends, but every weekday I try to aim for at least 5,000 steps, which is pretty easy if I'm not working from home. There is one issue that I have with this Apple Watch here, and that is the battery life just honestly isn't as good as I expected. I still do get that full day of battery life, but oftentimes when I come home, I do find myself quickly charging for about like 5 to 10 minutes, just because I'm more concerned that I'm not going to be able to make it all the way to my bedtime just with the battery life that's left when I come home. Going back to the original question of whether you should upgrade to this Series 10 or keep your current Apple Watch, I'm still going to stick with my original answer. You probably don't need this upgrade. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted a more premium looking Apple Watch, I probably would have just kept my Apple Watch Series 7. And for those of you with a Series 7 or newer, I think you guys should hold on to your current watches. Now, if you have an Apple Watch that does not support the newest watchOS, I would upgrade, as you're going to get a ton of new features and software support for the upcoming years. If you've never owned an Apple Watch before, you're going to love the Apple Watch Series 10. It has a ton of great features, and I find Apple Watches just really convenient, especially if you're already in the Apple ecosystem with other devices like iPhone, iPad, AirPods, and the Mac. For most people out there, you're probably not going to care too much about the materials of your Apple Watch, so the aluminum models are still a great choice. Most people also probably don't need cellular, as they'll probably always have their phone on them, so I'd recommend sticking with the GPS model as well. In terms of Apple Watch bands, I recommend the Sport Loops, as they're much more comfortable than the silicone sport bands, and they won't dig into your wrists when you're typing on a laptop. The starting price of this Apple Watch is $400, and for that price, I think it's a really good value for a lot of the features that it offers. So there you have it, guys. That concludes my Apple Watch Series 10 review. I hope I was able to help you guys decide whether you should upgrade or not. If you guys like this video and you want to see more content in the future, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.